And welcome again to another Friday Focus Careers in Sports session. And I'm really excited to have Louis Storey with us today. Hi, Louis. How you doing?
Not bad. Thanks very much for having us.
Not bad. Is that not bad because you're not like living in 27 degrees like I am down in the south of England? You're in the sunny, you're in the rainy north.
Yeah, I was good till about 5 minutes ago until you started showing off how good you had the weather down there.
In a minute. When this is finished, I'll take you for a tour around the garden. So if anybody doesn't know, Louis is Academy Manager for Newcastle Elite Academy, football academy, obviously up in, not Newcastle, in Newcastle. Is that correct?
In Newcastle, yes. I get
it right. Newcastle. And it started off by four Newcastle United players. They set it up as like a way of kind of getting guys, kids in the northeast, like engaging in sport and taking them to opportunities. And hopefully, as this is all about, careers in sport. That's right. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, no, that's spot on. The four lads were involved with the highly successful kind of championship winning season. Obviously, Paul's a local lad. Dwight, Matt, and Rob are from the south, kind of London and the south coast. And it was a mixture of Paul wanting to get back to his local area, but then the other three boys, the love and obviously the feel of the passion for the city, for football. They were absolutely blown away by it and wanted to give something back, and they found as if this academy would bridge the gap, hopefully in something where they could really make an effective, positive kind of change for the community, which is obviously brilliant to be a part of.
Epic. So we all had our journey. See, like I always think life's like a journey of like books, and we all have like those separate chapters along the way, and you try and do one thing and maybe it doesn't work, or you decide you can do something else and you go that way. So your journey in sport. So if we go back to little Louis, we'll call him little Louis, leaving school 16, 17, 18. How was your journey? Where's your journey in sport to get you to this place now?
So for me, I was lucky enough to secure a scholarship in Newcastle United Football Club, and undertake my 2-year scholarship there. That came to an end at the end of under 18s, where I was sadly released. Couldn't find a club within that initial first 2-3 month period from getting released in kind of June time, ready for the next season. Luckily, there was people involved in the club who were involved with the foundation, the charity side of Newcastle, who kind of got me into coaching. I was already doing a bit of coaching while as a scholar with the academy teams. I was working with my previous kind of grassroots team, and I kind of got into that as quick as possible. Worked for a year within the community on different programs, holiday courses, development centres, school PE delivery, and then that bridged the gap to then moving on to Northumbria University, where I enrolled on a sports and exercise science degree, and was lucky enough to secure a football scholarship with Northumbria University as well. They had a fantastic football programme for players like myself to benefit from, to continue their studies while training as close to a professional athlete, and playing at a semi-professional standard, and continue with my football development. Only being 18, 19, people kind of see yourself as kind of hitting your peak more 23, 24. So there was many years of development to come. And then while at university, I was lucky enough to get back into Newcastle as an academy coach, which then led to an unbelievable experience of working with Newcastle United's first team as part of their backroom staff, once finishing my degree. And that was under the season that they went in the championship with Rafa Benitez. Got to obviously continue my football development, but then more importantly, kind of my coaching career, then learning from one of the very best managers in the world was, an unbelievable experience, which I never thought I'd get. And then that's where I met the directors and the Newcastle United players, and they offered me the role to get involved in this academy. And for someone that had been at Newcastle, who was a Newcastle-based lad, who then it didn't quite work out with, had to pursue that education, that coaching career, to get back involved with the next generation of players potentially going through that process, through that journey, or if not similar, was something that I didn't want to turn down, but something that I personally really related to. So yeah, waffled on loads there, but that's it. That's where I am now.
No, it's not waffling on, man. It's that journey, and like for you, it's the important bit that I've taken from that is that I used to work at Bournemouth at the academy, and one of the things we used to see there is lads like yourself who had gone through maybe the academy system from like 8, 9 years old. Then all of a sudden, at the day that 18, you're like April, May time, they'd go up to Eddie's office and he'd go yes or no, and if they said no, that was it. That was it. And I used to say to these boys all the time, like, it's great, but you've got to have your plan B. You've got to have your plan B. And, I guess you looked around and, would you have played for Sunderland if they come along?
Hey, good question. Hey, very good question. I'm going to say no.
I love that. Thank you. Thank you very much. So we touched on like Rafa Benitez. So it must have been great to get to know a guy like that because obviously, an inspirational fella. But is he like your hero in sport? Somebody's like mentored you a little bit, or is there anybody else you feel has mentored you and taken you along the line to get to where you are today?
No, with Rafa Benitez, it was very much being able to watch a master in motion, working right across the season. He treated me really well as a very valuable member of the backroom staff, even though realistically that opportunity came about by being a young coach in the academy, and I think it was something that I think he promoted at other clubs, because I got stuck in with everything in terms of helping out on the day-to-day delivery of football sessions to also helping out with the kit, because that was predominantly kind of my role, balancing between being a kit man and helping out with the coaching, delivery and stuff. But people that have helped me along the way, there's a guy called Colin Stromsoy, who was the director of sport at Northumbria, who has really supported me as a student, but then actually supported me when I've took on this role through his experience of management side of things when it comes to sport, which is brilliant. And the directors in general have been really great mentors, and Rob Elliott in particular, who's a great friend of mine now, who has really helped me transition from a coach to now being an academy manager and everything that comes with that. So I've been really, really fortunate that I've got mentors, but that I've actually then went beyond mentors and become friends, which is really important to us.
That's epic. I mean, that's the thing, is I think you've got to have that sort of mindset of being a bit of a sponge and going, anybody's going to give me a bit of information and something I can grow on personally and professionally, I'm going to take that information on board and just grow and become the best version of yourself you can be. That's what we're going to do. So I know that you're a little bit wet at the moment, and obviously here, mate, it's school show. I've got iced tea, I've got ice cream down here just to keep myself cool, because I know
I've got my Greg's coffee to keep warm, promoting the north.
Nice one. But mate, I know you've just come in from training, and I'll see you're wet. So that's part of your job, is you get out there, you're still doing your training and stuff like that. So typical day, Newcastle Elite for yourself. What would be a typical day for you?
So typical day would be to get in the office, get myself sorted, definitely get myself a cup of coffee. Nothing better than a nice warm coffee in the morning to kind of just settle you into your day. Myself and Jason and Liv Yu, Kim, who's the education tutor, so the coaching staff and the tutor will kind of have a catch up on what's happening the week ahead. What does the schedule look like? What matches do we have? Have a chat about what preparation we need to put in place, where we are with our coaching syllabus for that week, and what sessions do we need to cover. So pulling all them bits and pieces together, seeing which players are available, and starting to kind of map out the week. Then that would be then leading into overseeing the actual training session, which predominantly tends to be in the morning. So the boys will rather start with a strength and conditioning session, or they might start with a video analysis session, leading out onto the pitch, and overseeing that component, because we work very closely with Northumbria University and have like S&C coaches ourselves. But we also have an internship program where them students come and start working with our students for further development. Oversee that, and then onto the pitch, which would then be leading or supporting on a technical and tactical session. obviously trying to hit our main objectives for that day. Then after that would be doing a little bit of debrief with the boys, linking in with the tutor about where the boys are, which boys need to be chased up on a little bit of work, which boys need a bit of an encouragement because they're on top of their assignments and whatnot. Have lunch, have a debrief with the coaches, and then it could very much vary between doing some planning work for the next session, recording some of the players' development in their player profile books, or it might be a case of kind of sitting in on one of Kim's lessons and kind of overseeing what the boys are doing and kind of help bridging that gap for them to see that, what happens on the pitch doesn't stay on the pitch. There's a crossover to the classroom. Or on another day, we work very close with some grassroots clubs and some schools in the community as well. So we look to deliver like at a football academy at a local school, Benfield, as well as we will deliver some recruitment and taster sessions in local grassroots clubs, looking to try and spread the word about what Newcastle Academy does, ready for years in terms of obviously when we try and promote our programme for future under 16s. So it's very, very hands-on. It's very football orientated, but just the way I like it.
Excellent. I mean, man, that's a busy day. I was breathless just listening to it. I mean, there's so much going on there, and also what sounds like a fantastic program with loads of facets to it, and must give a student a really great grounding in maybe future careers in sport. So one of the things like for us at SCL is this combination of education and sports training. Now, I think we kind of touched on it, but we didn't really make it clear. But why is it so important, do you think, to have that education come alongside your dreams of becoming a professional footballer or professional sportsman?
I think it's the both are a tool and a driving force for each other. So one kind of, fancy tagline that we use up here for Newcastle Elite is a dual career pathway. And they run side by side, and it's about getting the balance of dreaming big and having high aspirations and high goals in life, but also as well working hard to know that doesn't come out of nowhere. You've got to work hard for that, and ultimately as well, you've got to be prepared in life that you might have to go down various different avenues. You might go down different paths that you didn't think you were going to go to, rather that'll where you head and where you go, but also that might bring you back round to where your end goal is. So we really try and develop the all-round person, and that's something that's really important because that's what the football and the education does. Ultimately, you've got someone there has a passion for football and sport in terms of the performance side, but then someone that can use that passion in love for a career. And I think everyone, me and you and people that are involved in sport, I think the reason why we might champion and love our jobs, maybe more so than many other industries, is that we're involved in something that we love and that we care about, and that's something that we're passionate and ultimately our life is revolved around. So to be able to provide that for the next generation and for in a modern society where, if you work hard enough, then if you get a little bit of luck along the way, a lot of doors are open to you. And for us together to provide that grounded, start and foundation in life, while what gets forgotten a lot of time, they actually just come in and enjoy themselves and love every minute of every day. That it's so rewarding to see that the students get that experience and get that opportunity.
Yeah, I think that's it. It's just that ability. Just have that plan B, or like you say, that other pathway, something else open for you. You can sort of work towards. One of the things you said, you touched upon, kind of goes back to us at SCL, and it's this whole ability of going the values that you instill into your students, and those values you kind of live through. And one of the things doing these interviews, it's been amazing to see like the different values that people have, but actually all those values for people who have been successful in sport are all very similar. So for you guys, are there any values you have where you try to instill out there for your student athletes? And what focuses are there for them to have their positive well-being and their great mental health insurances? What sort of things do you put into place for that?
So what we try try and give the students some ownership and responsibility on the program. So very much when there is, the opportunity to get their insight, their feelings, their thoughts, that helps shape what their week and what the program's going to be like and how it's delivered. I think that's really important, because ultimately we try and treat them like adults, because we want them to start learning them life skills of taking ownership of their own decisions, taking responsibility of their actions, but also as well embedding these what I would call successful traits in life, which are transferable beyond sport in any industry, which is obviously, working hard. One thing that we really talk about was that resilience and bounce back ability, but not being scared of failure, and using that as a way of getting instant reward of, if I fail at something, I know that I've tried something and pushed myself out of my comfort zone, but also as well, losing at something or a bit of failure can sometimes be the best lesson in life, and flipping it on its head and giving that real positive outlook. Because I think for our students, yes, they have a lot on offer for them, and they can really grasp a lot of great opportunities, but also as well, at the same time, there's a lot of pressure, and there's a lot of negative sometimes that come from social media and the sheer exposure that they have to deal with. And it's about really instilling that positive mindset, mentality, and kind of in drive, really, which is going to put them in good stead no matter what they do.
Definitely. There's a word there that a lot of people have spoken about, and I think it's one of those words, resilience, because for me, resilience is such a key factor to have as a growing up, and then to become successful in adulthood. But resilience is such a hard lesson to learn and to be taught. It's such a hard lesson, but it's one of those things, like you say, if it comes from failure and going, do you know what? I hope it's going to get better. I can work through this. It will get better. But resilience is brilliant.
And that comes from creating a culture and an environment where everyone pulls together, and everyone that they are each other's building blocks, and that they're each other's bounce boards. So if you, for example, I always say going to the gym, and I used to refer back to myself when I used to be at Newcastle. I was a centre back, one of the tallest, one of the heaviest players, and I really used to struggle doing more than 4 or 5 free weight pull-ups. Now, if I work in an environment where I know that there's laughs and there's sniggers, and there's going to be a laugh at my expense for not being as successful as others, or maybe not being as far down the line as others, how am I ever going to be able to push myself and feel comfortable to really get the most out of that session? And that's something that we really try and translate to the boys, in terms of, you're just as important for each other than we, the coach staff, to you, which hopefully then develops some good characteristics of a good person. And ultimately, you're going to be a team player, whatever you do. There'll be some things that you take on individually, responsibilities in football, or if it's a job. But we have that emphasis, because we know that take away the footballer, take away the student, it's just as important to think that we're going to try and instill some real, positive, long-lasting characteristics of some good people.
100%, mate. Do you know what? You just said that we are each other's building blocks, and that is it's a message I've not heard before. It's such a strong message. I'm going to remember that one. I'm going to use that one, because I really like that. Because if that's something you live by, we'll be each other's building block, then all you can do is succeed. That's ace that. So, power of sport. I love this word. The power of sport is like, we could talk about this for hours, but what does the power of sport mean to you?
The power of sport means to me, being able to experience success and failure in a positive way, being able to live a healthy lifestyle mentally and physically, and also as well, it means to me, what I've took from the power of sport is I get to experience things which are hugely rewarding, and I tend to make great friendships along the way. I tend to make fantastic relationships around the way, due to the nature of sport, in terms of that nature and being a part of a team. So that healthy lifestyle, mental and physical, that unique experience of being able to go through the cycle of success and failure and live the highs and lows, which is going to push me on as a person continually. And being able to make great friends and great relationships and surround myself with like-minded people who are going to push us forward.
100%. And that whole thing of being able to take, to give like friendship and just getting people from across boundaries together is amazing. And no matter what class you're from or your age, your colour, whatever it is that you can all have that common interest in sport or a football team. It's incredible. So just finishing up, because I know you've got to get back out on the pitch there and get coaching, but I'm aware of that for you. But students now, so all our students, I think, on our courses, they're looking forward to it. They want to get a job or career in sport. What's your words of advice to them to go, this is your words of advice that I can help you out to pull you forward into a sports career?
So first of all, I would say to not to limit yourself, to aim high and push your boundaries. Also, I would say you got to work hard, and if you're not prepared to work hard, then unfortunately, you might not get back from life as much as you want. And also as well, I would say surround yourself with supportive and positive people. That's what I would say.
Decent, mate. I mean, that's true. Now I go back to this whole, being each other's building block. That's a definite thing. Definite. Louis, mate, it's been an absolute pleasure. I know I feel bad now because I'm looking out there and it's scorching. I know you're going to get out there, but it's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you. We'll stick us up online so you can see it. As always, I'll give like a virtual handshake. So, until we can have a real one, there you go. And stay tuned because we'll have somebody else coming up for the next one. But this one's a great one, and I'll speak to you soon. All right, cheers, Liz. Cheers, boy, mate.
The opportunity, guys. Bye bye.